going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new video. This is part 2 to my what if every fighter got a new moveset video. If you haven't seen that, I suggest going on and checking out that video to see the first half of the cast. The same rules apply from that video when it comes to redesigning these characters. Today we are doing the second half of the cast all the way down to the DLC. But before we hop into today's video, did you know that I have a Discord server? Truth be told, it's not up to the standards I'd like it to be, but if you're interested in joining, click that link in the description below. See you there. But the last character I covered was Olimar, so we'll be starting off this one with the one and only Lucario. And remember, this is a concept video. If you disagree with the changes, let me know by making your own in the comments below. So now, let's begin. Lucario's moveset has hardly changed, with the only thing really changing being his final smash in Smash 4, and then going back to how it was in Brawl. But to change his actual moveset up, I changed Lucario's side special from the Aura command grab to something new, Bone Rush. Various forms of media depict Lucario using Bone Rush, including a Pokemon fighting game called Pokken. The way it works is it'll lunge Lucario forward, swiping twice with a giant blue glowing bone, and it deals a lot of damage and knockback. The other thing I changed is Lucario's up special. The more aura Lucario gets, the higher and harder to control his up special becomes, and I dislike that. So instead, I want to make his up special him shooting an aura sphere under him to launch him into the air. And the more aura he has, the further he can be launched, and it doesn't become harder to control like it does now for his normal up special. Rob is a strange character due to him not coming from a game at all and just being a toy. The main thing I would change is Rob's up special to something called Robo Rocket, which just gives him a boost jump high into the air and he doesn't have to manually fly up. Harkening back to more Smash 4 custom moves, Rob's gyro can be the Fire Gyro, which has fire properties and does more damage but does not travel as far when launched, so that is another thing I would take from Smash 4 to give Rob now to make it a little more unique. All the links could really be something more special in terms of their moves, Toon Link especially. Starting off with his up special, I would give him his Deku Leaf, which he uses to fly around. He would launch up into the air and be able to glide around similar to Peach's up B. The other thing I do for Toon Link is give him the Wind Waker mechanic, where he can change the wind and direction of the wind with the side special. It works similar to Wispy Woods and it will only affect Toon Link. This will also make his recovery with the Deku Leaf better if the wind is facing in the right direction. The move would have a cooldown of 10 seconds and the wind itself would last around 15 seconds. Wolf is someone who I main in Smash Ultimate, and I like his moveset very much. All of his moves are very solid except Side B, Wolf Flash, which has a dead zone area where it won't grab ledge sometimes. I changed Wolf Flash to an entirely different move. Let's call it Wolf Drill. It's similar to Meta Knight's Drill, but does go further and doesn't multi-hit. If you ever played Sonic Unleashed, it would be similar looking to the drill attack Sonic does in that game in his Werehog form, and it very much matches Wolf. I love the Animal Crossing series. I've been playing it since Wild World and City Folk. Villager's moveset is literally for the most part just random stuff from the Animal Crossing world. And I honestly think Villager represents Animal Crossing perfectly. But just to change it up slightly, I'd change Villager's bowling ball forward smash to him using the squeaky hammer as a forward smash instead, since only villagers have been able to use them in games, which is odd because Isabelle uses the squeaky hammer as her jab attack, and she also uses the fishing rod, which are two things you never see her use. You could have a field day redesigning Mega Man, but I promise to keep these videos simple in terms of redesigns, because redesigning the whole cast is a really big task. But for Mega Man, I would change the up special to be the robotic bird beat, which will fly him up to the stage. I would also change his up air to the Tomahawk man's ability, where he will throw a Tomahawk up into the air and does a decent amount of knockback. Wii Fit Trainer is another strange character in the same vein as Rob, except she does come from a game. And also Wii Fit Trainer is quite literally flexing on their opponent, so it's gonna be really weird to come up with moves for Wii Fit. But what I would change is her side special to a beach ball that she can hit back if it bounces off her opponent back to her. And to take more moves from Smash 4, we can use her volatile breathing that when she completes it, an explosion around her happens. And guys, and that's all I got. I don't know how Sakurai came up with moves for this character. Rosalina and Luma are very unique characters in the roster. and I think their moveset perfectly represents them. Except one small thing. The down special where Rosalina sucks up items is cool, but it'd be cooler if it turned into a spin that did damage. In Super Mario 3D World, Rosalina, who is an unlockable character in that game, has the Galaxy Spin that gives her a little bit of a boost jump and damage enemies, and it'd be cool if that same thing applied here in Smash. Oh man, Little Mac, the anomaly of how to fix this character is a big thing. I think Little Mac would need a complete redesign where he can fight in the air a little bit and have his aerial hitboxes enlarged, and make his recovery better with more control, and remove all of his super armor smash attacks and make him a little slower on the ground. And there you go, you have a decent boxer fighter that can recover and is just an all-around character that's normal. The other thing I changed is his KO punch to still be a thing but not be a one-hit kill, and it's just a more damage based move rather than just having a super amount of knockback. And next we have Greninja, who was once one of the most hated Pokemon, now into one of the most popular ones of all time, and is also a really weird character to play in Smash Ultimate. They have really cool moves though, but the main thing I would change about Greninja is making his normals less of multi-hit ones and give him more straight up hits that kill. You have to do a lot of gymnastics to get a kill with Greninja, and it's almost arbitrary. I feel like Greninja is supposed to be a combo and kill glass cannon similar to Zero Suit Samus, and he just doesn't feel on par, and that's how I would really change his moveset. Because other than that, I feel his specials are perfect, like especially Shadow Sneak and the Shuriken. It just matches the whole ninja aesthetic, and it just makes a lot of sense. For Palutena, her specials aren't all that crazy. It's mostly her aerial and kill game, so let's slightly juice up her specials. I think her teleport is really annoying in Ultimate, so let's give Palutena Jump Glide, a special from Smash 4, where she jumps forward and flies forward a bit in an arc. I'd also take away the ability for her side special to track opponents and just have it be a set distance so it's more reliable. Pac-Man has a really cool moveset where all his specials works with one another. I think it'd be a shame to get rid of that. I'd mostly change one of his aerials, being his forward air, the two little kicks, to a drop kick that kills, because Pac-Man mostly has to rely on back air to kill. I'd also change his neutral special, the fruit, to not travel as far but stay out longer, similar to the lazy fruit custom. Robin is one of the most accurate Fire Emblem characters in terms of mechanics. Item usage. Although it's accurate, I think it bogs down the character a ton, and I'd get rid of this mechanic. Instead, Robin will start out with the weaker sword and then build a meter to get the 11 sword since it's super strong. That way you build towards something rather than just losing all of your abilities and wait on cooldown till they come back. Shulk is one of the most powerful characters in Smash in terms of canon, but I see why they use a very basic version of Shulk. Another thing to mention is some of his Monado arts do not even exist in Xenoblade, such as Smash or Jump. Instead, I would replace them with the correct arts. Enchant would replace Smash, but essentially do the same thing, but just to make it more accurate, and the art wouldn't be red colored either, it'd almost be like a pinkish color. The other change would be Jump turning into Monado Purge. When Shulk selects Purge, he has to press the B button again to send out a large beam that does a ton of damage, and it looks similar to Cloud's Blade Beam. I'd change literally everything about Bowser Jr., such as taking him out of the clown car, giving him his paintbrush for most of his moves and smash attacks, and making him fast. For his specials, I'd keep the clown car for the up B at least, but for side special, he would paint a shadow version of Mario Axe similar to Zelda's Phantom, and for his down special, he would throw down a Mecha Koopa, and that would just be the new Bowser Jr., and I'd be more inclined to play him personally. For Duck Hunt Dog, I changed his Gunman down special to a player-controlled zapper that the player moves. The move would act similar to Greninja's down special with holding down the button and then Greninja teleports, but instead, when you let go, a zapper would shoot the screen and damage your opponent and send them pretty far away. Being a Street Fighter fan, I like how the Shoto characters play in Smash a lot. Ryu has motion inputs in Smash Ultimate, which makes these characters pretty unique. In order to do his Shakanetsu Hadoken, aka the orange fire one, you have to do the quarter circle back. Instead, I want to change it to his V-trigger Hadoken from Street Fighter V called Denjin Renki. This will make his input motion Hadoken an electric Hadoken, and it will be able to stun opponents for a short amount of time. Similar time to a halfway charged Zero Suit Samus stun beam. The same electric property would be the same for other motion inputs, except Shoryuken would not stun the opponent. As for Ken, I would change his side special to also have a fire property, And just like Ryu, I'll change his Hadoken special motion to be the flaming Hadoken instead of just a bigger one, to match Ken's V-Trigger 1 in Street Fighter V. Cloud used to be my main in Smash Ultimate. What stopped me from playing him was his recovery and inaccurate hitboxes that don't match the sword animation. First, I changed those two to be accurate. The other thing I would change is limit to not be its down B anymore, and have it work similar to Joker where it builds up by only getting hit, and give Cloud Braver as his new down B where he does an overhead slam on the ground. When he does get his limit version, the Braver attack will crumple the opponent on impact and you can follow up with any move. For Corrin, I changed her side special, the pin, to be a command grab while also still keeping its normal capabilities. I'd also changed the way Corrin's up special to be similar to Fox up B in terms of the way you change directions and the distance. Bayonetta has a lot of stuff she can do in her games, and I mean a lot. But again, we're keeping the changes simple. I'm going to change Bayonetta's forward smash from her giant punch to use her scythe from the games, which would be a faster kill option. I'd also change witch time to be a normal counter and not actually slow down time for the opponent, and instead have an animation to where they just are slowed and Bayonetta hits them. For Inkling, I would change their down smash to an Ink Mine from Splatoon. It would work most similar to how Snake's Mine worked back in Brawl with his down smash. I think it'd be cool and creative to see combos with an Ink Mine in Smash. Ridley's moveset is menacing as ever in Ultimate, but the one thing I don't really like about his moveset is his down special. It's almost useless. I'd change it to be similar to Marth's Shield Breaker special so that way it has more of a use. For Simon and Richter, I'd change their recoveries to a different one where they swing off a chandelier just like the Castlevania series. The way it works is they'll swing forward fast enough to where it launches them up straight into the air. It'd also have a hitbox on it so it would hit opponents. For King K. Rool, I would swap out his counter for one of the electric traps from the games. It would work by placing down a trap similar to how Snake can place his C4 down on the ground. When K. Rool activates it, it pulses electricity, and if it hits an opponent it stuns them. It will only last around 5 seconds, and I can see this being a big combo tool for King K. Rool. Isabelle is a similar situation to Villager, to where her moves are just random stuff from the Animal Crossing series. So to change things up, I'd make her slingshot different from Villager's, where she shoots out 3 pellets out of the golden slingshot. They'd be weaker but do more damage ultimately. I'd also change her Lloyd Rocket Mine to a placeable pitfall seed on the map. To make it fair, she could also get trapped in her own pitfall seed, so be careful. Incineroar really would be much more fun if the recovery was better. I'd make it similar to Fox's recovery but still have the option to come back down if you press the button again like Cloud's climb hazard. I think that would be a really great change to the character. Piranha Plant still being the weirdest inclusion in Smash actually has at least one thing that can change and be effective. I changed their side B being the poison, instead make it a giant fireball that Piranha Plant can aim in 3 different directions. I think giving Piranha Plant a projectile would benefit the character quite a bit, since the poison is a hard tool to consistently use for things other than shield pressure. I'd redesign Joker to where his moveset did not have a meter or comeback factor like Arsene. Instead, Arsene would appear during his specials like Iha, since in the game, the personas are the ones doing the abilities, not Joker. But I think instead, Joker should have chargeable inputs for his specials. Such as Iha, for example, if he charges the B button, it will take longer to come out, but it'll be Aegon instead. Hero is a crazy character with his random elements, but I'd actually change his command menu to not be random, but to be percent based. In low percents, he would have lower impact spells, such as just buffs or Kaklang. At mid percents, he would get stuff like Whack or Bang. And at higher percent, he would get access to things like Kaboom, Magic Burst, Thwack, and Kamikaze. I think it would balance out the command menu a lot more. I'd also take away his crits and instead give him Tipper like Marth. There's a ton of RPG characters that all have critical hits in their games, and Hero having it is just silly to me personally regardless of the history. For Banjo, I would change his bomb to not have that weird bouncing property, and instead the bomb acts more like a direct projectile that gets launched fast at an arc, and the knockback will pull the opponent closer to Banjo for a follow-up attack. Terry in Smash can do pretty much everything he can do in some of the most recent games he is in, like KOF 15. So the only thing I can really think of to give him is Round Wave, where you double tap the B button, and Round Wave doesn't travel across the ground but is very powerful. Terry kinda already does Round Wave in the air, but it doesn't travel, except it's not Round Wave, but it just acts like Round Wave. Byleth for starters, I would make a much faster character. Them being very slow is just not in tune with Byleth in Three Houses, which has some of the most fastest stats in the game. I'd also switch the moveset around to not center around the use of the spear, and more on the sword of the creator, and have it act more like a whip in the game. It also changes up special to spike opponents at lower percents and grab them off stage more often. Min Min is a very new character that just came out, so I don't think I'd change her moveset that much, but the main thing I would change is her recovery. The one she uses on the ground doesn't make much sense to use in the air, but it's Smash Bros, a wacky game, so I think it'd be better if she had that. I'd also give her a Zair move that also grabs the stage, similar to both versions of Samus and Lucas. Woo, we've made it to the end, and that is all when it comes to me changing moves for every single character in the entire Smash Ultimate roster. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I put a lot of work in both parts of these, so if you guys could do those, I'd highly appreciate it, and I just be able to thank you. And also, if you guys didn't know, this channel also has something called memberships, and you can actually support me by becoming a member, which is similar to becoming a Twitch subscriber. And you can do it for very low prices, as you can see here, and it supports the channel, and you get little emotes and chat live streams. So if you guys want to come through and, you know, also do that and be in a live stream and have specific emotes that you can only get by doing this, and other perks and rewards, then go ahead and do it, and I'd highly appreciate it. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.